Aye, boom. Today we're gonna be making more super trap because it is super trap season. Today we're gonna be focusing on how to make them really hard super trap drums, and especially for you beginners that might just be jumping on the bandwagon now. If you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, man, for new content every Wednesday and Sunday. This FLP from this video will also be available over on my Patreon if you want to have a look at the mix in closer detail. We're gonna be working in 140 BPM today. When making super trap, honestly, the BPM can vary all the way from 130 to 190. It's just kind of preference. We're actually gonna be using a loop in today's video. Listen, I haven't used a loop in like over a year in a video, and I've been using a lot of Mizzle's loops at the minute because they're insanely cold. And this video we're trying to focus on the drums anyway, so now, first off, we can see that this loop has plus 50 cents beside it. Now, Mizzle is a plus 50 cent merchant. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to pitch this down 150 because we're in E minor and I kind of want to go to D sharp minor because that's a very goated scale for trap beats. Cold. So how do you even start to tackle super trap drums? There's no right or wrong answer. The main thing is that you're using the correct sound selection. You want to be using the sounds that are giving it a super trap feel, not sounds from Super Trap God 615's free YouTube drum kit with some garbage sounds. Make sure you're using up-to-date sounds. So, of course, quick plug, we are going to be using my Abduction Super Trap kit, and we're here for super trap, so let's start with the super trap hi-hat rolls. We're just going to grab one of the hats. Make sure your hats are always enveloped like this, just like your 808. Make sure you route this to the mixer track. Make sure you add on some reverb, and then also I like to stereo separate it a little bit, maybe to like 50%. These rolls are really getting a nice like width about them. If you have my Aries multi-kit, I use the light counter snare preset, and I also put on the reverb for the hats. I use both of these presets in one. All right, now let's go into the piano roll. I normally like to work in a third step or a sixth step. I feel like when making super trap, the hats just kind of bounce a little bit nicer like this. The way I like to do it is kind of get a bit of a groove going, feel out the beat a little bit, and kind of rather place notes where it's starting to make sense. Let's actually put that up. Because we have a note that's going up here, I might try slide this hi-hat like here. We can create a roll at the end of the second bar. So we want to go into a sixth step. We want to make the notes as small as possible. When making these rolls, I like to leave one gap and go down. And after that, we can just copy and paste this bar over. Like I said, I like to keep mine kind of repetitive, but at the same time, we're going to start changing it up. So for the second part, let's bring this over and let's slide it downwards. So instead of it sliding up, let's slide it down. And let's change this up a little bit. Let's delete that note. Let's bring the roll over. And then maybe let's just have like two notes at the end. And let's make like a little delayed effect on these two that are here by doing this, and then we'll just decrease the velocity of them. Like that. And then let's switch up the last bar completely. What we can do is we can take this roll that we already have, bring it over here. If we press Alt and Y, it will flip it horizontally, so it's like ascending instead of descending. And maybe we can do like a double. We can copy and paste it. Nice and repetitive. It's got the super trap rolls in there. We're taking the Yonkers perk. Ooh, it sounds nicer like that. Right, next we are going to go into the Abduction kit, and we're going to grab another. This is going to be nice to roll with. We're going to come to a sixth beat, and I feel like we're going to try and make a bit of a triplet kind of flow. Again, we want this to be pretty repetitive. This part, we can try delete this, do the same pattern as the hats below, and then we can do the exact same roll also here. I feel like the pattern does need to change a little bit, so maybe we can go... And then we want to put in the roll here again. And we can just repeat that over again. Next, we're going to throw down a clap just so we can get the nice rhythm of the beat going. Obviously, you're not doing anything crazy with your clap. It's literally just the standard trap pattern. Next, this is how you get a nice bounce with your clap. Basically, place your snares just before your claps and just after your claps. Next, we're going to come and take the... We're going to grab the needler perc. And same thing with the needler perc. You want to make sure you have got an envelope like this. Basically, any sounds that you use in SUPERTRAP, you want to make sure that they're enveloped. Because doing this just kind of creates a better bounce when you're using percussion, hats, anything like that. Something simple, just like that. Nothing too crazy. And like I said, in these beats, you tend to use multiple different 808s. And we are going to start with my go-to spins from the abduction kit. You don't really need to mix this at all. I just adjust the out knob on it. Now, we're going to leave a lot of gaps when putting down this first 808 because we're going to be leaving some space for these other 808s that we will be putting in later on. Right here, I'm going to do a roll just because I see a roll of my snare above it. It's kind of a good rule, not a rule, but something that I like to do. If I do snare rolls, I also like to follow the snare rolls with 808s because it tends to sound pretty decent. And this is a decent bounce to have. Let's try fill it in with some other 808s from the kit. I'm thinking about the TikTok 808 maybe. Next, we're going to grab the ZT and we're going to put it in this little gap just right there. That sounds sick. How could we forget about the Super 808? It's literally the most perfect 808 to have at the end of a bar, man. I'm gonna be 100. This CTM is going to give us a nice variation for when we're arranging the beat because we just took out the ZT 808, so the CTM can kind of come in as kind of like freshen up the beat a little bit. Final CTM pattern looks like this. I'm gonna keep it real, that's probably all this beat needs. Again, haven't literally done anything to your arranging. I've literally added one of the risers from abduction. All you need to do when arranging beats is kind of make sure that all the sounds aren't being used straight away in the beat. Kind of just introduce them as the beat goes on. So for example, the needler comes in after 8, the CTM comes in after 8. Then after that, you want to take out some instrumentation. Key to arranging is to just make sure that the beat doesn't get boring. Like I said, this FLP will be available on my Patreon, link for that in the description. If you're trying to buy any of the sounds used in this video, they're all from my abduction SUPERTRAP kit, link for that in the description. Also, make sure you're subscribed, and here's the full beat. And that's basically it, just a little bridge. If you made this far in the video, man, please make sure you press the like button for me and comment down below saying I watched it all. And also, here's a secret little discount code. Use the code SECRET and grab yourself 10% off all of my sound kits. Run me up in Instagram and Twitch, man, because I already need... Run me up in Instagram and Twitch, because I already need 2 things to care about. I'm out. Good luck. See you later. Bow.